brother shared as an example right now, someone was putting obstacles in his professional life. What we perceive as an obstacle, the other person feels that they are right in what they are doing. So any amount of dialogue about it or conversation doesn't yield results sometimes. Things only get more and more complicated. So when something like that happens to us, that we are a victim of somebody's exploitation or any wrong behaviors, we tend to create not the right thoughts. We tend to create hurt, we feel rejected, we feel unwanted, we feel exploited. And because we are not the one who's doing it, so we believe feeling that is what's the word? Is normal. Obviously, I'll feel hurt. It's not one line, one word. They're repeatedly doing something every single day. It's affecting my career graph. It's affecting my mood when I'm working in that office. I don't feel like working in that place. So sometimes because of this, we even come up to the decision of not working in that place anymore. When we're not happy working there with those people. But how many offices will we change? Because wherever you go, you will find someone who's unwell. Aren't they unwell to do that? They're physically fine, they're mentally fine, but they're emotionally unwell. Anyone who lacks in happiness, who lacks in self-respect, who feels insecure just by you being around them, is unwell. And when they are unwell, they will keep doing something. And the era that we are going through, which is called Kali Yuga, it means a lot of souls will be unwell. And this is not to scare you, but in the coming times it will only increase. It's like a battery getting depleted. If people don't charge it, it will only it's not going to charge on its own. So there's no point changing offices. Changing should only be when there is unethical practice. So there is a difference. One is an unethical practice and another is somebody's sanskar. Sanskar, we have to learn what to do with it. Unethical practice, we will not stay for a single day. Because being a part of anything unethical will become my karma. But we sometimes tend to do it the other way around. Oh, what to do? The system is like this, ye hai, wo hai, and we kind of adapt to it. But when it comes to sanskar, we say, how can I adjust with it? So the knowledge as to when to adjust, when not to adjust. Similarly in relationships. When we get used to changing, then we also change spouses. Seems very easy nowadays. 5-10 years back, when couples came to talk about what they were going through, they would say, oh, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. Okay. Now, it's very simple. I just don't want to live with them. What's the reason? Nothing. I don't want to live with them. Well, there has to be a reason. I'm not getting anything from them. So if I'm not getting anything from anybody, why should I be there? So these are signs where the soul has started becoming very hollow, shallow. I have got into relationships only to get, but relationships were not meant for getting. Relationships were meant for giving. And especially the generation which grows up now, and so you have to take care for those of you who are parents. How many of you are parents already? Big number. So take a lot of care and prioritize very clearly for your child. Because we work very hard, we earn very well, we're able to give them almost everything that money can buy. Everything which we as children got it with a little struggle, they get it very easily. So most of us would have started with first cycle, then first scooter, then first motorbike, then first car. We traveled by bus, we traveled. Your children don't have to do all that. So the power to struggle, the power to adjust, the power to adapt, they're anyways lacking. Anyways lacking, because everything is coming very comfortable. Very, very comfortable. So the power to adjust is like a muscle. If I don't use it, don't use your hand for 10 years, 20 years. And so someone who's not used their hand for 25 years, suddenly they won't be able to use it. So someone who's not used the power to adjust, power to tolerate, power to keep quiet, power to not have things their way, how to accept it. And suddenly when they're 20, 25, something happens, they say, I can't handle this now. Because they were so used to living a life where everything was their way. So take a lot of care in your parenting. Because if we as a generation who grew up with better emotional health, with lesser distractions or almost no distractions, as far as technology is concerned, even we are today talking of stress as normal, and we have started talking about depression. Visualize what will happen to those who are kids right now, 20 years from now. What will be the priority 20 years from now? What will be the priority for that child's life, which is very important, which needs to be inculcated now? You will not be able to inculcate it 20 years later. What is the priority? Which is already becoming a priority today, but we're talking about 20 years from today. What will be the priority? Strong minds. Very, very strong minds, which means very, very high EQ. Post-COVID, organizations have started talking about EQ. But COVID over and we tend to go back into. But in the coming times, it will be less about which college you've passed out from. It would be less about how much you excelled there. They'll say, you come, we'll train you all that, but come with the... Because that is something that can be taught. This is something they have to come with. And what is that? The power to face situations, the power to be in a team, the power to adjust, the power to. So when as an individual, we started moving away from living in big joint families to smaller families to nuclear families, and now preferring to live single. Me, my phone, my laptop and my dog. I don't need anybody. So we thought this is very happy life. I don't need anybody. But what was happening? My power to adjust not getting used. Because I don't have to adjust with my dog. My dog adjusts with me. That's why people are so happy with their pets, because they don't have to adjust. They don't. Whenever they come, they're so happy. The pet is so happy seeing them. That's very nice. Because you have a pet which is giving you unconditional acceptance and love. But you don't have a human being around you who's giving you unconditional happiness and love. So you prefer the... And we thought this is going fine, but it's not. Because our powers will stop getting used. And if they stop getting used, we will not have the power to face any situation. Post-COVID, mental health issues rise. Post-COVID, divorce rise. What did all this have to do with COVID? What did it have to do with COVID? Nothing. But what did it all have to do with? My way of thinking. Before COVID, how many of you had desired that I would love to be at home, not have to travel out of country, just be with my family and my children? Oh God, give me that one day when I'll be able to live like that. Desired ever? You know why this lockdown happened? Because millions of people on the planet had desired it. Yes. Even if one person creates a strong thought, it manifests. If millions of people create, it has to manifest. But important it after it manifested. 1 month was very good. After 1 month, when is my office going to start? When is the school going to start? We all want to go back. So when we were not at home, we thought stress is because we're not able to manage that. When we were at home, we thought stress is because of everything that's happening at home. Because we did not realize that stress is not at work, stress is not at home, stress is not in children, stress is not in parenting. Stress is in my way of thinking to all these situations. And so, for your own sake, start working on the mind on a daily basis. And most important, direct benefit will go to your children. A generation which is born and brought up with technology, not just as a comfort but as a distraction. Children who are watching screens from the age of 2 and 3 while eating. It's better Satyug comes soon, because it's not going to be a very healthy thing to see. They have not even nourished themselves on a daily basis the right way. They were watching something while they were eating. Mindful eating strengthens the mind and the body. Distracted eating, they will not see the result at the age of 3 and 4. The result will be after 20 years. So make it a culture at home. No screens while eating. These are all new ways of being from returning here. No screen while eating. And a no means a no. A no means a no. Mindful eating. But I will have to implement that first. And then I will make that a way of living in the house. Possible to do that? No screens while eating? Just experiment with for 1 month. And you will realize that now is it that you're actually enjoying what you're eating. Most of us have a very hurried breakfast. We say, I grab a bite and run. So you see what is the quality of the breakfast meal. Lunch is at work. Dinner is the only meal we have at home. And because all of us come together for dinner, then we tend to discuss all our issues on the dining table. Because that's probably the time when we are all together. And so actually we're not having a single meal which is a mindful eating. And that is why the best of diets is not creating the best of health. Because we are very conscious about what I am eating, which is a good part. But along with that, it has to be how I have to eat, not just what I have to eat. In Ayurveda, it is taught that if your mind is stressed, don't eat. Because that food will become toxic for you, because that food is going into the system with a lot of negative thoughts, because I am stressed. Now, for most of us who say stress is normal, we are eating on a daily basis with stress. And that is why we are seeing all these young cardiac issues, but they are all eating good diet. They are exercising daily. It's not about what I am eating. Now let's go 30 years back. Society was not aware of so much of good eating like we are aware, right? Yes? But they were eating right, even if they were not eating the best of healthy food which we are trying to eat. Because they didn't have all these distractions. So automatically every meal was very... So what we have to do, the new way of being is that you're going to use the comfort of what technology has given us, which has made our life extremely comfortable, but don't do those things which is making our life uncomfortable. It's not about, oh, I'll put away my phone for 1 day. No, all this is not needed. Because even if I put away my phone for 1 day, what about the remaining 6 days? So it's like eat junk for 6 days and 1 day fasting. No, eat right for all 7 days. So how we use technology, how we are living our life, we need to pause. We know the right way of living because we have lived that life as children. And it is our moral responsibility to live that way so that our children can learn that this is the right way of living. We are the last generation who knows that way of living. They don't even know it. So it's not going to be their fault. It's not going to be their fault, right? So what are the new things that I'm going to do once I return from here on Wednesday? First, this retreat should not be a 3-day retreat. It should be now my way of living. How many of you have been coming here for meditation at 4 a.m.? Very good. Good experience? You know, people from the West are coming to our country to teach us the 5 a.m. leadership club. Now you don't need to join. You're already part of the club. So it is there in the culture of our country since thousands of years, the Brahma Muhurat Amrit Vela. Why is it called the 5 a.m. leadership club? Because that is the time where intuition is highest. That is the time where creativity is highest. That is the time where energizing is highest. And that is the time when we are sleeping. So we are losing out on the most valuable time. So it's called Brahma Muhurat. Muhurat means the Muhurat time of the 24-hour cycle. So for any important event in our life, we look for the Muhurat time. We don't look for, oh, which day suits me, which day suits my spouse, let it on. No, Muhurat time, even if it doesn't suit anybody. Right? Even if it doesn't suit anybody, we have to do it at the Muhurat time. Why? What will happen if we do it at another time? Why do we have to do it at the Muhurat time? It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that if I do it at another time, something wrong happens. It just means the Muhurat time is giving you the highest vibrational energy. But then what about the Muhurat time which is there in every 24-hour cycle? Some of us forget waking up. Some of us are going to sleep around the Muhurat time. And most important, what are your children doing with their sleep cycle? A generation which is growing up saying, no, I can study better at night. Come to think of it, we were living in smaller homes. Many of us didn't even have our own room. And yet we used to study in the day. They have their own rooms and yet they say, I need to study at night. Don't allow them to do that. That is one of the main reasons which is creating all these anxiety attacks, panic attacks, all these things in children now. Wrong sleep cycle. So the first thing, right way of being, right sleep cycle. My overthinking will never stop if I have a wrong sleep cycle, because wrong sleep cycle means mind is fatigued over a period of time. Fatigue. And fatigued mind thinks too much, thinks wrong, gets tired. Fatigued mind gets irritable, reacts, snaps. Fatigued mind gets hurt very easily. It's a tired mind, nothing else. Just a tired mind. So to wake up between 4 and 5 a.m., what would be the right time to go to sleep? After returning on Wednesday. This is nothing for here now. Now everything is from Wednesday. Go and study online the power of healing between 10 and 2 of the body also. That is the time when the highest healing is happening of every organ of the body. And it happens only at that time. What we are doing as a culture today, that I have to sleep my 6-7 hours, I will sleep anytime. You can sleep anytime, but it's all coming at a big cost. So by 10 p.m. I should be in deep sleep, not just sleep, deep sleep. So many of us are not sleeping deep. We're sleeping, but we're not sleeping deep. So you have to check yourself. Am I sleep deprived? Simple way to check, when you're traveling back from here, just check. Do you fall off to sleep if you don't engage yourself with something? Check on the flight next time. But we don't get to see nowadays because everybody switches on their phone or iPad and engages their mind. But if they don't engage their mind, even at 9, 10 a.m. in the morning, people are dozing off. And it doesn't mean that they didn't sleep that night. It's just that they are sleep deprived over a period of time. But they sleep every night. Why are they sleep deprived? Because the body sleeps, the mind is at work. Why is the mind at work? Because till they go to sleep, they are at work. So most important is, if I want to sleep deep, I have to disconnect from work at least 2 hours before. Disconnect, shut down all the files in the mind, not just shut down all the files on the laptop. The laptop shuts off in 1 second, not the mind doesn't go off like this. So during the day, I have opened lots of files on the mind. Work people, family, children, issues, targets, relationships. So many files open on the mind during the day. And I keep on working with those files and I just go and fall off to sleep. So then the body sleeps, the mind doesn't sleep. So the mind is processing those files even in our sleep. And that's why when we wake up, we feel like sleeping a little more. You feel like sleeping a little more? And that's why so beautifully you gave everybody 1 snooze button, 2 snooze button on their phone. Chalo. We should be telling them, why do you feel like sleeping more, instead of giving them a snooze button. I have to ask myself, I've slept 6-7 hours. Now what is 6 minutes going to do after that? What 6 hours couldn't do, what is 5 minutes going to do? Can it do anything? But we are so tired that we don't feel like getting out of bed. Are we physically tired? Are we physically tired? Because when we say I'm tired, we think I am tired. Are we physically tired? Traveling in AC car, sitting in an AC office, sitting in an AC home and just sitting the whole day. Are we physically tired? No. We are emotionally tired because lot of files open during the day and then not shut down properly and recharged and energized in the night. So shut down work communication at least 2 hours before going to sleep. Disconnect completely, which means not checking your emails, not opening your messages, not taking calls. We will talk tomorrow morning. Earlier, when we used to join work, we used to ask them, what are the work timings of this organization? We were very clear whether this work timing suits me, doesn't. What are the work time? The person used to say 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. Now what are work timings? And during COVID lockdown, the work timings went for a complete. So when you select your organization where you're going to work, don't just check what I'm getting in terms of my role and in terms of my package. Check what I am getting in terms of a healthy lifestyle. Because all the money in the world that we will earn will not be able to buy happiness and health, neither for me, neither for my children. So that's the balance that I have to create. I'm getting a very senior position, but I will have to keep on being online till 12 o'clock in the night. Leave it. Leave it. It's not worth it at the end of the day. But that much I have to have that. And that is why priority should be very clear. Self, family, work. Self, family, work. If I turn this around and I say work, family, self, then all 3 get affected. But if I put it self, family, work, all 3 are fine. Which means every day give at least an hour for the self. So like you are beginning your morning here with meditation. Now we will continue that once we return home. And then every morning we do a little spiritual study class. All the brothers and sisters whom you are seeing here as volunteers, Sevadharis, they're all part of your organizations. They're all part of your organizations. They're all at very senior roles and responsibilities. One day they were all sitting here this side where you are sitting today. And when they came here, they thought they had taken out 3-4 days with great difficulty. And when they were returning from here, they were told, okay, continue 1 hour daily. And they're like, who has 1 hour daily? I don't have time. But some of them chose to continue that 1 hour daily. Initially, not easy to take out 1 hour daily. Not easy. But I have to experiment at least for 3 months. But for those who took up the experiment and took out that 1 hour daily, very soon they had extra time on hand. Very soon they had extra time on hand. And now they have so much extra time on hand that they are also there for you, not for themselves. From where is all this extra time coming? We are all short of time, not because we are short of time, it's because tired minds are doing all the work. And when you take out that 1 hour every morning as an investment, and your mind is recharged, energized, thinking less, thinking right, then everything you're doing is going to finish off faster and you have extra time on hand. Is it possible now for us to take out 1 hour every day? Don't keep it as a 3 days peaceful experience. Keep it as making it an experience of a lifetime. My every day is going to be like this. So first thing is my Amrit Vela, Brahma Muhurat. Second thing is a daily spiritual study class. Third, now coming into the field of action, which means with family, with work. Now we are going to become a true Karam Yogi. A Karam Yogi doesn't mean the one who keeps working. Karam Yogi means the one who does their Karam in a meditative state. So we begin with feeling peaceful while meditating, but doing it on a daily basis along with the spiritual study, you will start experiencing that peace while working. There's no point being only peaceful while meditating. No. What's the point? Anybody will feel peaceful while meditating. There's no situation, there's no stimulus. But what is going to change after that is, now I will carry that state of being throughout the day. And so that is how I will be while I'm working. That is how I will be while I'm interacting. So the next step you're going to start taking care of is how you are going to be with people. A lot of energy gets depleted in our interactions, the way we interact with people. Especially if the other person that I'm working with or living with is at a lower vibrational frequency. We are all at our own vibrational frequencies. Do you feel your frequency's gone a little higher in the last 2 days? Yes? Where was it when you entered? Keep your hand there. Keep your hand there. Where was it? It could be here, 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 wherever it was for you. And where has it gone in 2 days? Now ask yourself, how can it go like this in 2 days? Nothing we've done. We're just sitting in a hall, listening to sessions. What have we done which has taken us like this? And most important, Wednesday, where is it going to be? So we don't want it to be here and then by Thursday, Friday here. No. Now it has to only go higher, very gradually higher. So very important for that to take care of yourself in action. All the negative emotions which I had called as normal, your way of speaking, consciously change the style. Even it's not coming from inside out, change it outside first. Irritating, snapping at people, raising my voice, getting agitated if something is not going my way. It will bring me. When we go back, if someone is not right with us, which means doesn't behave the right way with us, can we be right with them? Can you visualize this right now? Visualize any individual in your life. Can be at home, can be at work. Typical behavioral pattern. And how I used to be with them before I came here and how I'm going to be with them from Wednesday. Program your mind before you leave. Earlier, I used to be a different way because I thought that was a normal way of reacting to a person who behaves like that. But now I know the loss was mine. It's my energy which is getting depleted. And so now I'm just going to program my mind that this is how I'm going to be with them. If I prepare my mind, 8 out of 10 times I'm saved. At home, there are certain typical situations in which we react with each other. Just because two people have different sanskars, I'm not going to do it. Because I'm not going to waste my energy, I'm also not going to deplete their energy, and I'm not going to deplete the energy of the house. Spirituality means creating high vibration homes. We got bigger homes, we got prettier homes. Now we need to make them high vibration homes. And how will we create high vibration homes? When the individual living in that house is radiating that energy, taking care that we're not getting into. If one person says something, the other person just has to be quiet for a few minutes. So first stage, I'll be quiet here. I may be very noisy here, but I'll be quiet here. Second stage, when I continue my meditation, I'll become quiet here. Third stage, I will radiate very good energy to them when they are not radiating good energy to me. So it's a journey. It doesn't happen just like that. So first stage, I'm quiet outside. Second stage, automatically I will be quiet inside because my spiritual stamina would have built up in the next few months. We are building spiritual stamina. So everything which was difficult earlier is now going to be very easy. It's a stamina building. And then consciously radiate good energy to them. When we say, I am a peaceful soul, I am a powerful soul, I am a happy soul, but so are they. It's not just I am, it is you are. So even if I cannot say it to them here, I can say it here. Can you say it to them from here? Start saying it to them from here before you leave from here. And by saying it to them, you are radiating that energy to them, which will also start healing their wounded minds. People are emotionally unwell, so they react. We are not going to consume the infection. We are going to protect ourselves and heal them. That is Karam Yogi. Whether at home, whether at work. Whether at work also. So when I take my vibrations higher, I will become instrumental in energizing other people because energy will flow from me to them. So can you see yourself Karam Yogi at work? Yes, can you see what's going to be the difference? In Hindi, the word is kya hal chal hai. So hal and chal is connected. So जब यहाँ का हाल चेंज होता है, बाहर का सब कुछ चाल चेंज हो जाएगा. Even your way of walking will change. Your way of driving will change. Can you see how people drive nowadays? And everything will get more only because it's all a reflection of how I'm here. So consciously change the outside, the inside will change. Change the inside, the outside will change. Both will go hand in hand. So how would a Karam Yogi drive the car? Even that driving the car conserves your energy or depletes your energy. Everything is either a depleter or an energizer. Nothing is, it stands still at one position. What kind of way of driving my car should be so that it increases my energy? Just me driving the car alone. Nobody in the car with me. What would it be? And what would be the way which depletes energy? What kind of driving the car depletes energy? Can you see people around you that they're depleting their energy in the way they are driving? They are not just a risk to other people on the road. They're a very big risk to them own selves. Not just physically here. They're very agitated mind. So be very careful. You just sit in the car. You're about to bring in your journey. Take a minute of silence. Take a minute of silence. I'm a pure, powerful, happy soul going on this beautiful journey to work. Connect to God and draw a very powerful divine circle of energy around your car. Or if you're going by the bus of the organization, draw it around the bus. If you're taking a flight, draw it around the flight. Starting the journey with the blessing that this journey is going to be a divine experience. Start everything with the right thought so that you're able to create the right thoughts during that journey. Consciously listen to something nice, something very empowering while you are driving or on the way before you go to work. It's going to be nutrition for the mind. Can we do that on the way to work? Nutrition, khurak. Don't distract your mind with things which are depleters. You know everything that is there on your phone, what is a depleter and what is an energizer. Consume only that content which is raising your vibration. Don't consume the content which is lowering your vibration. That content is not time pass. It is not entertainment. It is toxic. And put a nice poster at home for the children also to see, and put it on your phone, on your screen. Content is equal to personality, is equal to destiny. Because what I'm going to watch, read, listen is going to become my thought and emotions. And what is my thought and emotions is my karma, and what is my karma is my destiny. So content is equal to personality, is equal to destiny. I was once on a very early morning flight, and it was around 6:30 in the morning, and the person sitting next to me was watching a crime show. So I just shouldn't have, but I just told him, I said, early in the morning. He said, I have a whole day of meetings in Delhi. I won't come to know throughout the day what happened in this. So I have to put a full stop in my mind. I should know what happened in this episode. Okay. After he finished his episode, shut down the iPad, put it away, and he said, okay, Sister Shivani, can I ask you something? I said, yeah. He said, nowadays, when I go to work, I start having these thoughts. Did I switch off the gas? Did I close the door? Very innocently, very sweetly, he was asking. He doesn't know the connection between the two things, and he's one of your profession. And then he showed me his phone. He said, you know what I've started doing so that it doesn't trouble my mind? I'm clicking the photo before leaving home. He said, because it just keeps coming to my mind. What if I've not locked the door? So he said, I lock the door and I click a photo. I switch off the gas, I click a photo. I switch off the geyser, I click a photo. When my mind troubles me, I open, switch on, see the photo, and I say, no, I have. And this is not a story. So he said, what do I have to do? So what did he have to do? We all know what he had to know. But so beautiful, he didn't know. Because we never think that what we are consuming is actually becoming us. So one major cause of overthinking is only over content consumption. Overeating, and that to junk food. So what is health going to be like? So consuming content which has lust, which has ego, which has fear, which has aggression, which has criticism, which has entertainment where people are pulling other people down. What is so healthy about this content? I will start having those thoughts. I will start creating those emotions. Please remember, it's only someone's business. And the more we use the product, the more they're going to make it. And that's why we started with one episode of a program once a week. We went up to having episodes every day. We went up to having recording of episodes, and now we've got all the episodes on the phone. So they are doing well. And if any of you by chance are in that business, please remember, don't do any business which depletes people. Karma rebound. Karma rebound. Don't do any work which depletes people. mind or body. That's not the way to earn money. That's not the way to earn money. There are 4 words: dhan, an, man, and tan. The money, the food, the mind, and the body. These 4 energies are connected. The first energy, which is most important, is money, dhan, not the amount. Kali Yuga means everybody is about how much are you making. It's not about how much are you making, it's about how you're making it. Because how much you're making only buys everything that money can buy. But how you're making will decide your emotional health, your karma of the family, and the destiny of the family. So if you ever have to choose between how I'm making and how much I'm making, and another organization gives you more into how much you can make, please take a decision based on how I'm making and not how much I'm making. Because how I'm making is the energy that comes into the house. That energy is used to buy the food for the family. For anyone making business and making money by depleting people's health, is that the money I will use to feed my family? To educate my children? To give them all the comforts? All of them have a starting energy of pain of people. So be very careful. It's somebody's business who anyways are getting stuck with their karma of what they are doing to society, but at least I need to take care that I don't get stuck in their karma. When you restrict content consumption, you're not just going to have more time during the day, you're going to have more energy during the day. You have no idea how much it sucks us down. In Hindi, we have the line, Sang ka rang. Hota hai ki nahi? Sang ka rang. So remember, as children, our parents used to take care. Who are your friends? Who are your friends? Why was it so important? Who are my friends? Because my friends influence in who I become. Now who is my friend? So Sang ka rang ka biggest influence is now content, media. Media. Consuming content, binge watching, then feeling left out because I haven't watched. Then what will my friends say when I meet them for a party tonight? You haven't seen this new series, so whole Sunday I finish it off, so in the night I can say I saw it. This is not the way to be. Kali Yuga means I don't need to be like other people are being. And if people around you say, oh, you're very boring, you're very old-fashioned, you're on the right path. You are on the right path. Then you've done something really right. If people around you are saying, oh, how boring, how old-fashioned. Because it's not old-fashioned, it's healthy fashion. We're not old or new. It's about what's right from today, what's right from the past. We should take everything that makes us healthy. But because majority around us are not doing, especially for children are having a very tough time with all this. When we were in school, there were few who were doing those other things, and we were the majority who were doing most of the things. So, oh, this person has started using this person has started experimenting with this person has got into a relationship. There used to be so few. Now the proportion has gone the other way around. So those few are made to believe that they are the ones who are abnormal. They are the ones who are wrong. And for these few children to be able to be in this society and to stand on their maryadas and principle, their family culture will have to be very